What up, fam? It's your girl, Sherry. This is Obsidian Texts and Tangents, and it is great that you're on my channel. So today, I thought that I would talk about Akata Warrior because I just finished it a couple of days ago. But then I realized that when I finished Akata Witch, which is the first book in the series, which was back in May, and it was before I had this channel, so I've not talked about it at all. So this is actually a review of Akata Witch. So Akata Witch is about 12-year-old Sunny Nwezu. Somebody help me out in the comments. Sunny is a New York City born Nigerian American whose family moved back to Nigeria when she was 9 years old. She is 12 now, and she is a terrific young lady who is a fantastic athlete and who also has albinism, which makes her stand out even more among her peers in her community in the town that she lives in Nigeria. She seems to feel like she doesn't quite belong and doesn't quite fit into her American or Nigerian monikers of her identity. And that is, of course, aided by those in her community who associate her albino condition with her being like less than or this child witch. Meanwhile, Sunny has actually seen this haunting vision in a flame in her room, which, by the way, she accidentally burnt off some of her hair when it happened. And we are all sorry for the loss, sweet. But she sees this terrifying vision in the flame of a candle in her room one night of the end of the world. And her entire world, therefore, shifts on its axis. She ends up learning that her classmate, Orlu, and his friend, Chi-Chi, actually do have magical abilities, and that she does too. On top of that, they're supposed to form this coven with this other kid who they just met named Sasha, who's a African-American boy from Chicago who just got sent to Nigeria as punishment for some foolery he got into. I'm on Sasha's side, so we can get into it later potentially, or in the comments. So they're supposed to form this coven to stop whatever this vision is that she's seen. Enter a crash course in Leopard society, which I'll get into, including magical history, spells, juju, spirit faces, and so much more. On top of that, there's also a serial killer going around abducting children. So I read this book in May. I gave it 4 stars. I am judging this book on my 5-star rating system, which includes a star for each one of the following categories. So there's setting and world building. There is character development, themes, whether or not I would recommend the book or whether or not I'm planning on purchasing it. And then 5 is just like my overall enjoyment of the book. So I rated Sunny a 5 stars. 1 full star for setting and world building, full star for character development, full star for themes. A 1/2 star for recommend/purchase. I won't know if I'm going to purchase this series until the series is done. And a 1/2 star for overall enjoyment, and that has more to do with the way the book ended. So I'll get more into that. But I wanted to get the spoiler-free kind of description and rating out of the way off top. Okay, so let's get into some more details. When it comes to the setting and the world building, Nnedi did a fantastic job of portraying this. So The story takes place in large part in the town and surrounding area of where Sunny and her friends all live in Nigeria. Upon discovering the new magical reality of the world, Sunny learns and realizes that the magical the magicalness of the world is actually kind of just like layered on top of what her previous version of reality is. So they're not separate worlds. You don't go somewhere else completely. These things are just happening at the same time in Akata, which there is a really cool, which I think that it's very difficult to be able to accurately portray that in a story and keep people following along, and Nnedi does a really good job of doing that, and so that's fantastic. I love the setting. I thought that the way that Nnedi was able to describe the reality of Nigeria, this version of Nigeria that is set in reality and is based off of real things, and then layer on this completely fantastical element, was amazing and magical in and of itself in her writing. Loved it. Also made me it made me very curious as someone who's not as well versed in Nigerian culture, religion, or history. So it made me very curious of where those lines actually existed. So that was really cool. But because it was told through Sunny's reality, it made it clear which things were new concepts. I've read the Binti novella trilogy by Nnedi as well. And in that novel, those novellas, in that trilogy, it was a lot harder for me to distinguish between those things that were new or fantastical and from Nnedi Okorafor's imagination as to which things were reality, which words already exist in the lexicon of Nigeria, sort of thing. So anyways, back to Akata Witch. I love that because we were getting this story through Sunny, who was also just introduced to Leopard Society, which is the society that they call the people of ability. It was easier to make that distinction. So that was really great. Since I'm already talking about Leopard Society, let's get into it. So Sunny actually picks up this book from Leopard Nox, which I'll get into in a second, that is called Fast Facts for Free Agents. And there's a quote in there that describes what leopard people are. So I'm gonna read that quote and then we'll go and rewind. So, from Fast Facts for Free Agents, a leopard person goes by many names around the world. The term leopard person is a West African conifer derived from Efik term ekbe, leopard. All people of true ability are leopard people. And as humankind has evolved, so have leopard people around the world organized. So, leopard people are people that have magical abilities and can perform various spells using a juju knife. But all leopard people have one special ability that they can perform without any juju knife that is just an inherent innate ability of their own. Other leopard people can perform most of those things, but they would need a juju knife to do it. They would need to have a higher level of skill and knowledge to be able to actually achieve those things. Another cool thing about leopard people is that the abilities that innate ability that I'm referring to, it manifests in some physical or mental way in the individual. So one of the characters, Cheetah, points out that the spiritual affects the physical, which is a great theme in the story. So leopard people are people of ability, and they have a secret society that they keep hiding from the rest of the world. Everyone who's not a leopard person, they're called lambs, and they don't know about leopard people. So leopard people have their own set of rules, society, history, culture, currency, laws, everything. And it's great. One of my favorite parts of the book, in the 2 books that I've read so far, has been getting to know this leopard society and all its intricacies, and getting to know leopard people and their backgrounds and their story. It's been fantastic, favorite. So anyways, full start. Also, while we're talking about currency, the form of currency in leopard society is called chittim. It's called chittim. And what I think is, there's a couple things I think is really cool about this. One, you earn chittim based on knowledge gain. So every time you earn some kind of knowledge, something that you didn't know before, specific to leopard society and spells and juju and all that type of stuff, you earn money. Kind of just like appears. And it is in the material of the chittim is in reverse category of value than you would normally think. So bronze has the highest value and gold has the least value. And then the other thing that I thought was really cool is that they are, the like shape and everything, the look of them is based on Manila, which is a previous form of currency in West Africa. And there is a song by Lupe Fiasco that I listen to a lot called Gold Versus the Right Thing, I think is the full title of the song. And there's a quote in there about Manila and enslaved Africans being traded for Manila and the ship going down. And I didn't know what Manila was before, and I've tried to Google it so many times and could not find out what it was. But now I know, and I actually have a picture of what it is in my mind, so that's very cool to me. What else do I want to say about the world building and setting? It's very believable also. I am someone who believes that just because I have not seen something doesn't mean it's not true or it doesn't exist, because our understanding of the universe is so limited. So come on now. But anyways, so I'm like, yeah, I can definitely see, I buy it. I buy this story. I buy this whole story. So I'm into it. Next, character development. I will also say the bulk of the book is spent on world building and character development. I think this book, which I could talk about it a little later when I talk about my overall enjoyment, but this book is much more of a character study of all the characters and of the society than it is an action forward plot. So I think if you know that going in, you'll be fine. You won't be disappointed. But if you are going in thinking that there's going to be like a lot of action, don't reset your expectations, because otherwise you will be disappointed. But the story is really good. The book is really very good. So that's my point on that. But oh yeah, so character development. Girl, I be getting all distracted. The characters are great. I'm gonna try to, there's so many characters, I'm gonna try to keep it to a couple, and then I'll talk about a couple more in my next review video when I talk about Akata Warrior, because this one's getting kind of long, so I'm not gonna do the 2 reviews together. Our main character, Sunny, is so, okay, so the story starts, and she is 12, y'all. Remember that while you're reading it. She is 12, but she is awesome. She's very much a 12-year-old. She's very bright. She values learning. So that actually makes her fit right. Like that is a thing that, that's a trait that fits very well into leopard society. She's very athletic. She doesn't like that the gender roles are often impeding on her ability to do the things that she enjoys. She also doesn't let the nasty behavior of others tarnish her self-image. So we don't see her struggle with her being albino in a self-confident sort of way. She has to carry around a umbrella to hide from the sun because she has very sensitive skin, and she can't play soccer because she a badass soccer player, but I digress. She can't play soccer a lot because of the sun and things like that. There are ways that the condition impacts her life, but she doesn't have a negative self-image around that, even though other people treat her differently because of it, including her classmates, including also her father, potentially her brothers. Her brothers are jackasses, to put it bluntly, and considering how popular her brothers are, I think at least part of that has to do with her albinism and the way they don't show up for her. I'll get into it later in another situation. I'll get into it when I talk about Akata Warrior, because it's a bigger theme in that one, even though you see it in Akata Witch. Okay, yes, so she's great. Things I really like about Sunny, I really like that she's short-tempered. And I like that about her because I'm short-tempered, but she is impulsive. And so that short temper and her impulsivity will encourage her to get into situations that she knows encourage her to do things that she knows she shouldn't do, but she does them anyway. And then I'm just going to talk about the Oha Coven, which is her and her group of friends. Next, we have Orlu. Orlu is bae. Not really, because I think Orlu he's a little slightly older than Sunny. I think he's 13 when in Akata Witch, so not my bae, but Sunny's bae, okay? And I'm here for it, but they're not together at all in the book. But there is a very slow burn situation that you see, and it's really cool to watch. But anyways, should I tell y'all about their abilities a little bit? I'll talk about it when I talk about themes. But Orlu's cool. He's her classmate. He is very open with knowledge. He is very stable. He is very peaceful. I'm pretty sure Orlu would be a 9 on an anagram. Okay, maybe I should try to pick all of their anagrams. That'll be another video. But his is just so salient that I feel like I know which one it is. Which the 9 is the peacekeeper, very highly values peace and has an ability to imbue that in their surroundings. And that is what I see a lot for him. It even speaks to his ornate ability as a leopard person is undoing juju. Also very cool. Also, he likes learning all kinds of things. My phone just decided to stop recording. So anyway, Orlu is really cool. He likes learning all kinds of things about animals and things like that. I should also mention that leopard people are not only humans, it could be animals and insects and things like that also have lives, have stories. So that's cool. Last person in the group is Sasha Jackson, who's the African-American boy that I said came from Chicago. I really enjoy Sasha. He also has photographic memory and he's also mischievous. Oh, freak. It didn't record the part where I was talking about Chi-Chi. So Chi-Chi is a friend of Orlu who is around about their age. Her age is not stated. Sunny says, you look about our age, but I've never seen you in school. And honestly, it's because she has a photographic memory and she's very bright. And she's a Nim priestess, and we'll get into that some other time. But so she is really cool. Also, when I said he also has photographic memory, it's because I recorded myself, or I thought I was recording myself, talk about Chi-Chi, who has photographic memory. She's very bright. She's also very mischievous and very, very knowledgeable of both leopard society. And Sasha is new Also, I should mention that Sunny is called a free agent because neither one of her parents are leopard people. Orlu and Chi-Chi, both their parents are leopard people. Sasha, I think both his parents are leopard people. Memory serves me correctly. But Sasha got sent to Nigeria because he switched some cops' minds around because defund the police. Now, obviously this wasn't set in 2020, so but police violence has been what it has been in Black communities for a long time. So even in this book, that's what was going on. And Sasha said, I will not have it. We will not have it. Circle Mbaku, okay? And he did something about it, and he knew he was going to get punished, and he said, all right. Also, I feel like anyways, I'm not getting into that because I only have a couple more minutes before I need to be doing something else. That's a bit about them. They each have a spirit face. So spirit faces are something every leopard person has. They're born with it. For those of pure leopard person descent, they're born with their spirit faces actually, and their human face shows up 7 days later. For free agents, they have to learn how to summon their spirit face forward after going through their initiation into leopard society. A spirit face resembles like traditional African ceremonial mask, and they're all different, and they're pretty private about them. Like you don't show anyone your spirit face or tell them the name, or I think they know the name, but you don't show them the face. It's a very very like intimate thing. Apparently it's like being naked in front of someone or something. But Chi-Chi and Sunny see each other because Sunny needs help initially getting into Leopard Nox. Oh, I didn't finish talking about Leopard Nox when I was talking about the world building. There's too much to talk about. So Leopard Nox is really cool. You have to cross a bridge to get into it. That's like, it's like Leopard Society downtown area of this region of where they are. But you have to cross a bridge to get to it over this river monster who has it out for Sunny, bro. So tries to make her fall in the first day. She calls her spirit face forward. Or you have to bring your spirit face forward to cross the barrier. Anywho, that's that. Themes. There are awesome themes in the story, and I wrote it down. I'll just like say some highlights. So one of my favorite themes in the story is knowledge as power. As I described previously, knowledge is the only way you earn money in this society. And those of the highest knowledge have the highest positions in society. Unlike, in this capitalistic society we have now where like money is the way like you earn status. And you could know nothing and still make a lot of money and still be highly valued and I don't know, like become the president or some shit. Mess up the whole world, but it's fine. I'm not bitter about it or anything. Another thing I really like in the story is being of multiple worlds in a way that you don't solely belong to either, so you can feel like you don't belong to either as well. And then eventually getting to this point, which Sunny is not there yet, but then eventually getting this point where you feel like you belong to both. So we're really in the midst of Sunny's journey of still feeling like she is between worlds, both when it comes to her, the fact she is fully Nigerian, but she was born in America. So she has this double heritage. And she lived in America until she was 9. So she has that influence, but she is fully Nigerian. So she has that like duality in her personality that right now is in conflict, or that duality in her identity that right now is in conflict. And then on top of that, she's a leopard person that was born of lamb people, like both her mother and her father are lambs, and you do not tell lambs about leopard society. So now she has this entirely secret life that is very dangerous and is taking up a lot of her time, and she can't tell any of her family about it. And she also doesn't really feel necessarily like she fully belongs in leopard society because she is a free agent and her parents aren't leopard and she hasn't grown up around this and she doesn't know much. She's learning as she goes. So there's also that conflict in her identity as well. And it's really interesting to watch her move through that space, because although this is a coming of age story, like many coming of age stories focus on identity, I think this is unique in the way that it looks at dual identities and working towards reconciling those and being at one. She ain't there yet, but I'm interested in finishing watching the rest of her journey. One thing I'm not gonna get too far into is like the traditions. Leopard society has its own history, its own traditions, and it's been really interesting watching those and seeing in what ways those align or conflict with the rest of the Nigerian societal norms and traditions that are depicted in the story that are non-leopard people, like the lambs. Oh, and one of my biggest favorite themes is the story really looks at ableism in a great way, in which, like I mentioned before, the leopard people's special ability, the one ability they can do without a juju knife, is you see that on them in some physical or mental way. And so the way that speaks to ableism and often limiting people's potential because they have a condition or something that society views as a impediment. No, I'm not gonna use that word. As something that is a disability rather than something that aids them in their journey. So Sunny is albino, and her special ability is that she can move into the spirit world like with ease, innately, so much easier. That would take other people could potentially die by doing some of the stuff she does inherently without even really fully understanding. And then like Orlu, which his ability is one of my favorite abilities, which is the undoing juju. He's actually a bit dyslexic. The way he sees like letters and things and numbers, because his brain automatically like undoes stuff, it's very difficult for him. And I think that's really cool. You see that repeated. That's just those two because I want to stick to the characters that I've already mentioned. You see that repeated throughout all of Leopard Society because that is kind of how that special ability works, is that it's something that would probably be viewed as a bad thing by Lamb Society. So it is very cool. That's one of my favorite themes in it. I really enjoyed reading about that and exploring what that means for characters in society and how that centers difference. I really also enjoyed the theme of centering difference that you see in this story. Fantastic. Okay, when it comes to number 4, would I recommend to purchase the story? I am definitely considering purchasing the series. For me, because the book is a part of a series, I would not purchase it at this point. I will wait until the full thing is complete and judge the entire series as if it's something I want to purchase or not, because if we get to not the next book because I've read Akata Warrior already, but if we get to the 3rd book and it just like completely like I don't like it, I don't want to have started investing in the series that I don't want all of the books that I don't actually value. That's not how I spend money. So for me, that's still up in the air, which is why it has a half star. I would recommend the book to anyone who like really is here for watching a fantasy world unfold and getting to know characters and watching the journey of these young people. I think if you are looking for something that is very action-packed, it's not the read for you. Wait until that's like not quite what you're looking for, and then read it so you can actually give it a fair assessment. And then for number 5, overall enjoyment. I really enjoyed the story. I thought the pacing, though it wasn't action-packed, was still very well paced. It was still very well paced so that I didn't feel like it was dragging at all. However, I am giving it a half star for overall enjoyment because the ending we did not spend enough time with the big bad. The big bad has so little playtime. We had such little interaction with the big bad. To me, it's not even the fact that the big bad like major fight scene was very short page count wise, considering the whole story. It's that we didn't have very much direct interaction with big bad on the page with any of them. Like we met the big bad like at the one time, everything like wrapped up around that very quickly, and to me, we only found out a couple things about them. And with the story being so character driven throughout the book, I feel like there's still more I wanted to know about Black Hat, and there's definitely more to know about the Masquerade Aquinsu, so I could have had more pages on that. So for sure, that's why that's a half star. To wrap up, because this is like much longer than I expected it to be, I really enjoyed Akata Witch. I'm giving it 4 stars, and I've read Akata Warrior already, and I will be filming a review on that since I filmed this review first so that I can film that review and that it would make sense in following up. So I'm going to get back to the rest of my day, and I will see you all soon in my next video. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and let me know if you watched or if you read Akata Witch. Please let me know what was your favorite theme. Okay? All right, I will talk to y'all later. Bye.